back to him for maintenance. Well, all this trouble caused by dime. It happens. A little coin got it down, passed through the drain, and swirling around in the pump. And I think what happened is that it wore off the corners of the pump paddle. So the paddle, as it's spinning, it wasn't pulling as much water. This you want to be extremely careful with. Very dangerous. You got electricity, water. Not a good mix, but here it is. The deal's spinning, and it is. That's good. Sometimes squeeze the pump. For a washing machine bin that won't drain.
Yeah. Every time I do that, you can really hear it.
Watch out for sharp parts in there. It's unfinished metal all around. So lots of things to cut you up. Box of knives or electrocute you.
If that won't work, what we might have to do is pull it apart from right there and then use the blower and push it back. Just kind of pinching it right where the coin is. Make it drain.
So we finally got it to drain, able to pull it apart, vacuum it out, and then take the drain hose, made sure it was all clear. And what we found was a dime inside, and put it all back together. And unfortunately, sometimes these are really tricky to put back together. This one I had a really hard time finding the port, and I did finally get it. Bad thing was when we turned it back on and tested the unit to drain, it didn't drain, and what happened was that, or it didn't drain well, earlier, the pump actually wore out. But first we needed to test the coupling.
Or not being able to see it, it's throwing me off.
So first we needed to test the coupling and make sure that wasn't bad, and it wasn't. It was actually the pump. So, but I'll show you the procedure so you would know what to look for. And here is just leak testing, looking under the machine, making sure there's nothing dripping down. So that's good.
So now to test it, and let's go to spin. Like we might have another something. Okay. So we're going to check the coupling. This one is not draining properly. Verified the hose is clear. And I'm going to pull the pump off. And right here, what we want to see is if the coupling, what happens sometimes is these crack right across the back, and then the motor will be spinning inside on the other side, but not turning properly. So what I'm going to do is just carefully put it to the spin cycle. Not careful enough.
Yes.
Put it to the spin cycle, and then going to put a little resistance on the motor to see if it's stopping it at all, and it doesn't appear to be. So
Good.
I can't stop it, so
Okay.
it's okay there. Don't pop it, and it's possible just that our pump is bad. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull that apart. I'm probably just gonna replace the pump, but that's okay. It's waterproof. I'm just gonna try turning this and you can see down in there. It does appear to be turning it, and seems to be working okay. But it's a new pump. Already verified the hose is clear, so not much left here, but the pump. So I'm gonna change it out. Doesn't hurt. A little preventative maintenance. Get this puppy going. It's a little easier to, if you angle the shaft straight up and down, and then the same on your pump, and that way you don't have to fiddle with it as much trying to line it up. You can just get it straight on. There we go. And then we've got our clamp deals. There we go. And these are keyed, so it just goes into the slots there. A keyhole and you turn it. There we go. And now the hoses. The top one, going to reach the clamp, slide it forward, and get on that one. The bottom, sometimes it's easier from the back, but be real careful. This metal is sharp metal. And we actually took the hose off and verified that it's clear. So I'm going to refeed it through the machine. And around the back and the bottom. And then up through the top. And you want to be extra careful in there. Everything is just sharp metal, unfinished metal. Really sharp. It leaves lots of little cuts on you really easy. Which make for not as good weekend, if you know what I mean. The clamp kind of slid down. I like to do that. Slid all the way to here. There we go. Again, gotta watch out for that sharp metal. Okay. That one a lot of times I get with my Leatherman.
This is a great place to vacuum from when you first, after you've emptied the tub completely. Then you'll pull this hose apart and use your wet dry vacuum to vacuum from here. This will let you have a lot less water spilled from down below when and if you need to take apart the pump.
Sometimes it likes to be stubborn. There it is. Okay. And down below, this one is also very tricky. Okay. Slide the clamp forward. And position it on the side. Now, sometimes it's easier to reach up and over, and sometimes it's easier to grab it from the front. It just depends what works better for you, depending on the tool you're using. But it just gets slipped kind of towards the front there. The seat's just like that, nice and tight. Now we're ready to test it and see if we drain better. Before I do that, though, I just want to check my hose. Back in the back, you see there's a little clip that it goes under, and this just kind of keeps it from rubbing against anything that it shouldn't. So we'll lock it in under that right there. We're locked in. Okay, and then this way the machine goes rocking around. It doesn't rub on anything and then bust a hole in it. So spin cycle, pull it on out. We do have a strange sound. It could be just that it's dry, but also we could just check and make sure, see if we're rubbing on anything. And it makes me wonder about that coupling, the motor coupling. Hopefully that's not the case, but we're about to find out. Yep, all kinds of sharp stuff going on there, so be extra careful. We can verify, check, make sure we have no leaks. It's common for it to leak up here, so you'll want to slip this up every once in a while. And when it does leak, you'll see it leak from the as it's filling. But this one we took off, and when we took it off, it kind of, if it goes if it's held lower, it'll just leak a little bit of water that's left in the hose. there's probably enough water to test it, so we'll just advance it to the spin cycle. Yeah, either insert something or leave the door closed.
Yeah.
Pull it. See how we drain. And our noise went away, so it sounds like it was just dry water. It looks like we're draining good. That's much better. So we had a faulty pump. Looks like we're on it's actually on a rinse cycle. So take it straight to a spin cycle. That's what it should do. Good to go. All right.
Yep, so this one we removed the dime from it, and my thought here is either that it wore out here in the center and so wasn't getting a good spin, or that the paddle just got knocked enough times by that dime, just kept knocking into it, that it knocked off the kind of the edges of the paddle, and so it made it so it wasn't moving as much water, as well as the dime blocking it. So anyway, between all those things, just replace the pump. That's what this one was. Remove the obstruction from the drain line, which was a dime, and everything's good to go. Draining like it should, filling like it should. Tested for leaks, no leaks. Just set the lid back on top and re-plug the disconnect switch in, so that's how we were able to run it with the front portion off. And test it and make sure, prove everything out. And got the washing machine back in business, doing what it should, cleaning things up like a champ. Thanks for watching Kung Fu Maintenance. Over and out. Making a jumper wire makes good for this, so you don't have to put the lid back on top. Maybe I'll show that to you in another video. Thanks for watching.